Hello everybody, hi YouTube, how are you doing? My name is Dina and today we have a new concept for the channel involving a phone. Everybody has a smartphone these days, but do you know that you can score on Just Dance, actually play Just Dance with your smartphone? But before that, please subscribe to the channel. The chat says it. Hi everybody, please subscribe to the channel. Please leave a thumbs up. You can leave a thumbs up already, it's fine, you're already on the video, you can do that. So today we are doing a crash test of the phone app, of the controller app that you can install on any smartphone. And we're going to reply to questions such as, how comfortable and how safe is it to play with your smartphone in your hand? Is it easier to score with the phone as a controller? Also, is there a difference between playing with an Apple device or an Android device? And last question we're going to answer today is, are your score going to be different depending on the console you're playing on? You didn't expect this one, did you? So I always saw the Just Dance team push the phone controller, and I think they developed it because it allows everybody to play Just Dance just with the console. Especially on Xbox and PlayStation, it allows you to play with a smartphone that everybody has, and you don't have to pay for an extra accessory such as the Kinect camera, such as the PS Move. I guess that's why they're pushing it. Also, if you have an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5, you cannot play with anything but your phone. This is the only controller available. So it looks like the future is tending to be, okay, you have to use your phone as a controller. So we're basically testing the future now, which I still hope it's not gonna happen because I love my Kinect camera. There's also, if you have a Switch Lite, you cannot detach the controller. So you have to use your phone as a controller on Switch as well. Because if you have the normal Switch, you're probably like, why would I want to play with my phone? Well, think about all the people that have a Switch Lite and a Just Dance game in their Christmas gift and are like,
Thanks, Mom.
today we're gonna use the Nintendo Switch. Why? Because I recently did a video testing the scoring on Switch. So the playlist is gonna be more or less the same, and we're gonna be able to compare the scores that I got to the ones that I'm gonna have with the phone controller. So methodology of today, I'm gonna use two phones for my test. One iPhone and one OnePlus 8. It's an Android device. This is the second phone I'm gonna use. And I'm gonna dance two songs on each phone. And we're gonna do the average of the both scores I'm gonna get to see if one is really better than the other. After making that, I'm gonna try an extreme with one of the phones and see if it's more difficult than with the regular controller. And to finish, we'll do one last song on another console, which is gonna be the Xbox. I think we can start right now. I said everything. Seems pretty accurate for now. And I feel like I can put energy in my dancing. It's still giving me perfect, which sometimes can be a problem on Switch with the Joy-Cons. 13K! Let's go! I would say it was not harder than on a Joy-Con, for example, to score. I still got a 13K. It's just, it's already hurting my hand because I have to hold it firmly like this. And this was first song. I didn't go on the floor because I cannot as I'm injured. But if I was to go on the floor and do that move and have my phone in my hand, I would be like, okay, I'm not gonna put so much force in it. Speaking of force, I felt like I could put as much force as I wanted in my moves, which sometimes can be a problem with the Joy-Con if you put too much strength in it. Here I felt like it was not a problem, but maybe it's just this song that's coded like this. We're gonna see with the next song. Oh, got an X. Again an X. 12,441. That's almost equivalent to the score I got with the Joy-Con, which was 12,500. Honestly, I could have done a better score, but I felt like I got random X's. As if it was connection errors, like the phone not sending the right information quick enough because this system works on Wi-Fi. So maybe the fact that if there's a small drop in my internet connection, this can explain some of the X's I got. Because apart from that, the feeling I get is that it's as easy to score with the phone than it is to score with the Joy-Con. If not easier, honestly. Because this one doesn't care about the strengths you're putting. This one does a lot. And I'm not sure if this one cares so much for the angles as this one does. I want to see if it confirms while playing with the other phone and maybe the Extreme and stuff. Anyway, making the average of Level Up and Swish, what does it give us?
12,734.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Next test, I'm going to use another phone. This was an Apple device. I'm going to use an Android device, and we're going to see if this makes a difference. And X again, 2 X's in a row, what the F? So many okays, so many X's. 12,300. There's a huge difference, 700 points difference between what I did and the 13K. We're gonna do the other song, which I had a score of 12,362 on the Switch. We'll see what I can do on Flash Pose. Oh my God, so many okays. Oh my God, this was horrible. This was horrible. Oh, not even a mega star. There's two things. First thing, this phone is really soft. It doesn't have any protection on it. So I feel like it could slip out of my hand very easily. And it was harder to hold it securely, but it's lighter. It's not as heavy as the iPhone. So that was a good point. But the scores! Wow. Honestly, I'm very, very curious to confirm the theory that the Android phone is really scoring lower. I'm going to redo Flash Pose with the iPhone, just to be sure. Oh, this is definitely better. This one's giving me perfect. It used to give me okay with the other phone. A difference of 600 points. I am gonna go and I'm gonna stick to my conclusion. After playing 2 songs with the iPhone and 2 songs with the Android phone, the OnePlus, this one is way worse to score with than the iPhone. It is lighter, but the score speaks for itself. I felt a bit less secure holding it, but it was less harmful. Like it hurt me less holding it than the brick iPhone. So sensation-wise, it was maybe a bit more comfortable, but the scoring is way worse. On the averages, like there's hundreds of points of difference between these 2 phones. Now, having said that, comparing whatever phone with the Joy-Con, it's still much more comfortable to play with the Joy-Con because it's lighter, it fits in your palm much easier, right? I feel like the phone could be a bit more permissive, like you don't have to control so much of the strength and the angles that on with the Joy-Con, but the phone has a huge problem. It depends on the internet connection. And I feel like on all the songs I did, at some point I have X's and OKs a bit randomly. Like before I used to have a perfect on that move and now I get an OK. Like how does it happen? It should not happen. It really feels like there's little connection errors that gives you X's. So the fact that the phone could be more permissive is very balanced by the fact that it has connection errors, depending on your Wi-Fi connection, that takes the score down. So in the end, I think the scoring on the phone is gonna be more or less equivalent to the scoring of the Joy-Con. And if you really wanna make sure that you have the perfect score, I think it's impossible on the phone at 100% chance. Maybe you won't have any connection error, and maybe you could full perfect it, but you could get one randomly at any point. With the Joy-Con, I feel like it's more reliable than the phone for the scoring. Next test, scoring an extreme song. So I'm gonna be using the iPhone, which is apparently the one that scores better. And I'm gonna do an extreme song that I already scored on the Joy-Con, which is Pop Stars. So on the Joy-Con with Pop Star yesterday, I managed to get a score of 12,320. I wanna see if I can beat that with the phone. Mega star! 12,556. A bit better than what I did on the Joy-Con. This confirms everything I said previously. I think the phone is more permissive. It's less demanding in terms of little angles, in terms of really little details, which I think the Joy-Con is very demanding on. But the score is taken lower because there's a moment where you get okays randomly and you don't understand why. There was also a moment where I hit my head with my phone because it's just way bigger than a Joy-Con and I had to touch myself like this. And yeah, you get good at this moment because you touch yourself and stuff. We're gonna do a last test, which is playing on the phone, still on the same phone, but on a different console. So now, redoing Flash Pose, same exact song we did on the Switch, but this time with the phone on the Xbox. For now, I'm getting the okays at the same point. This is still doing perfect. 12,300. This is better by 300 points. To answer the first of our questions, how comfortable is it to play Just Dance on your phone? It's not comfortable. It's way more comfortable to play it on a Joy-Con. Also on the PS Move, I had experiences on it and I thought it was pretty comfortable. So if comfort is what you're searching for, I think you should go for Joy-Con. And I'm also gonna push it further to say that maybe you should buy an accessory for Joy-Con so you don't have to hold it. If comfort while dancing is what you want, if you don't care about the score. How safe is it? I think it really depends on the model of the phone. I would advise you, if you really want to play with your phone, to buy a pop socket. It really helped me secure the phone a bit better. And if you have a phone that's very soft, the pop socket's gonna help you handle it better. Now, the lighter your phone is, it's a bit more comfortable, but it's never gonna feel as secure as having something attached to your wrist. And I didn't really sweat that much. If I was to go for a really sweat session, playing on the phone, wouldn't advise it. Second question was, is it easier to score on the phone than it is to play with a controller? After doing all this, I feel like the scoring on phone is more permissive than it is on the Joy-Con. The phone is gonna ask you for less little details than it was to ask you with a Joy-Con. I feel like you can put more strength in it. You don't have to care about that. I really feel like it's less detailed, the scoring on the phone, than it is, for example, with the Joy-Con. So you would think you could get easier, better score. But, and now this is gonna change for each and every one of you, the problem with the phone is that it depends on the Wi-Fi connection. So if your Wi-Fi connection is super 100% stable, you may be getting like awesome scores. But if there's a drop at some point, even like a drop, maybe a millisecond, you're gonna start getting okays and X's while you dance and be like, huh? Why? Now, somebody, while doing this live, said that the Switch has a worse internet connection than the Xbox. And honestly, I would tend to agree with that person, given I did Flash Pose several times and the best score that I did was on the Xbox. So maybe you will have less drops on the Xbox or on the PlayStation. These two consoles may have a more consistent flow with the internet connection, with the Wi-Fi, and give you less drops and less drops of points. That wasn't expected. Honestly, I thought the scoring was gonna be totally the same depending on the console, but I believe that, yeah, maybe on Switch, it's a bit more unstable. Finally, is there a difference between playing with an Android phone and an Apple smartphone? I definitely scored better with my Apple device. It may depend a lot on what Android device you have. Some people were saying that if you have an older phone, it's less developed, so the accelerometer inside it is gonna be less performant and then seeing less differences, so maybe give you a better score. That is still to be tested. Honestly, I don't have any other phone in my house, so I couldn't test the scoring with an older phone. From what I saw, Apple's better. So that's it for my feelings, my sensations. I hope it helped you decide on what console or on what controller you want to play Just Dance. Don't forget to leave in the comment your experience, your opinion, what you felt if you ever tried playing Just Dance on a phone. I will be really eager to read your comments. Also, I released recently a video showing and testing all the different accessories that exist on Switch for you to not have to hold your controller. Check this out. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video. Leave a thumbs up as well. And thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.